My name is Rodrigue Ichiichia Tse. I am currently working at the Protestant University of Rwanda and as an assistant lecturer, but also as a staff of the Center for Research and Action towards Sustainable Peace and Development, and I'm in charge of the Regional Peace Program. I'm a former exchange student at Tokyo University of Home Studies, but also I did my master's program there. I remember it was in 2018 where I saw this application for an exchange program in Japan, and frankly speaking, I did not expect that. It was a new program. But I quickly got interested in it because of Professor Kazuyoki Sasaki, who was my professor here in Rwanda. And for me, I learned a lot from him as my professor, but also as a very good person, friendly to us Africans. And I was really interested to go to see his country. And I knew Japan used to be involved in the war, and now it's a very peaceful country. So as a student of peace and conflict studies, at that time I was highly interested to go to learn about the peaceful processes of Japan. But when I arrived there, things actually changed. So of course I was still interested to learn about peace in Japan, but what I found, a new interest I found when I was in Japan was the people, Japanese people. So students, lecturers, and friends, and couples, and families, and people in general. So I started realizing that I'm learning a lot of things from the Japanese people, Japanese students, Japanese friends, their lifestyle, how it is different from the lifestyle I live here. And it really changed my perspective, how I see the world, how I see economy, how I see everything, by the way, because Japan was is actually the only developed country I have lived and studied in. So I don't know Europe, I don't know America, but Japan was a country that taught me how life is in developed world. So it was really insightful to live with people there and to get to know them. So it changed my views. Yeah, I think that's the main point. Another reason why I was highly interested to go to Japan was my Japanese classmate in Rwanda at Protestant University of Rwanda. So I arrived here, there were around 4 or 5 Japanese students and some of them became my classmates. Particularly get closer to one of them and I remember why, because he asked me if he could visit me in Burundi, my home country. And for me this was really surprising, because at that time it was around 2016-17, and for those who know the history of my country, we had a severe conflict going on. So it was really surprising to see that he was even willing to come to a country where the conflict was still going on. And I took him there to my place, and we had a lunch together. We ate fish. From there until now, we have never ceased to talk together. So I think this is something that really made me more interested to be in Japan, to study in Japan, because I had those classmates who became really friends, and we are still friends until now. The interaction between Japanese and African students is so much helpful, and it's both sides. So I think from the side of African student, us, so we have, of course, some kind of idealized view of people, especially from the developed world. So we think you guys have no miseries, We think you guys, you are living maybe in paradise where everything is good. We think you don't suffer, you are rich, you don't have any issue. And because we compare you, and most of the time it's just a wrong view we got from the media, right? And then I think the same thing happened also with Japanese students. So they look at us, maybe they think we are, poor, which is true. We have some vulnerabilities in some domain, but there are more things they get to know about us, which they cannot know through the media or other channels. So they will never know that we can also learn, we can speak different language. For example, I myself speak 5 languages. So I think this is things that Japanese students, they get to learn, they get also to understand us much more better, and also get to understand them better. So for me, it's really important. It's important to have young people from different background, different status, different worlds, if I can say so, coming together and interact and learn from each other. It reduces stereotypes, sometimes even prejudices, and also it makes them really, it gives them empathy. So now, for example, me, after living around 3 years in Japan, I do have some empathy towards Japanese, because I know some of them, they do suffer. I know karoshi, I know hikikomori, I know all these issues. So I could never know them without, interacting and getting to know them personally. So I think it's important.